The year is 2025, and the American education landscape is on the verge of a seismic shift. President Trump, a staunch critic of federal overreach, has set his sights on dismantling the U.S. Department of Education. This ambitious goal, a cornerstone of his political agenda, represents a fundamental reimagining of the government's role in education. Trump argues that education is best left to states and local communities, free from the shackles of federal bureaucracy. His approach is two-pronged. He's expected to unleash a series of executive orders, chipping away at the department's authority and influence. Simultaneously, he's leaning on Congress to deliver the knockout blow by officially abolishing the institution. This strategy, however, faces a steep uphill battle. Congress, even with a Republican majority, remains deeply divided on the issue. The recent rejection of an amendment to defund the department underscores the legislative hurdles ahead. Undeterred, Trump appears to be drawing inspiration from Project 2025, a conservative blueprint crafted by the Heritage Foundation. This radical proposal envisions a complete dismantling of the department, with its functions dispersed among other agencies or devolved to the states. For instance, Title I funds intended to support disadvantaged students would be transformed into block grants for states, raising concerns about accountability and equitable distribution. Trump's crusade against the Department of Education is fueled by a belief that the federal government has overstepped its boundaries in education. He argues that this intrusion has stifled innovation, imposed burdensome regulations, and fostered an environment of indoctrination rather than education. His supporters echo these sentiments, viewing the department as a bloated bureaucracy that has failed to deliver on its promise of quality education for all. The potential consequences of dismantling the Department of Education send ripples of uncertainty across all levels of education. K-12 schools, heavily reliant on federal funding, face the most immediate threat. The department currently channels billions of dollars annually to support programs like Title I, aimed at assisting low-income students, and IDEA, which provides crucial resources for students with disabilities. While proponents of dismantling the department argue that states can fill the funding gap, critics are skeptical. They point out that many states already grappling with budget constraints would struggle to replace the lost federal dollars. This disparity could exacerbate existing inequalities, leaving vulnerable students in underfunded schools without access to essential programs and support services. Higher education also faces an uncertain future in a post-Department of Education world. The department plays a pivotal role in administering federal student aid programs, including Pell grants and student loans. While Pell grant eligibility is determined by Congress, other aspects of financial aid could be significantly altered. The absence of federal oversight in student lending could pave the way for predatory practices by private lenders, potentially saddling students with exorbitant interest rates and limited repayment options. The department's oversight extends beyond traditional K-12 and higher education institutions. It plays a crucial role in regulating for-profit colleges, scrutinizing their practices, and holding them accountable for providing quality education. The potential elimination of this oversight raises concerns about a resurgence of predatory for-profit institutions exploiting students with the allure of easy degrees and leaving them burdened with mountains of debt. The potential demise of the Department of Education extends beyond funding concerns. It strikes at the heart of civil rights enforcement in education. The department's Office for Civil Rights, or OCR, serves as a bulwark against discrimination, investigating complaints, and ensuring equal access to education for all students, regardless of race, religion, gender, sexual orientation, or disability status. The OCR's role in safeguarding civil rights in education cannot be overstated. It has been instrumental in combating discriminatory discipline practices, protecting the rights of transgender students, and ensuring equal opportunities for students with disabilities. Dismantling the department without a clear plan for preserving these enforcement mechanisms raises profound concerns about the future of equity and inclusion in American education. Critics argue that shifting civil rights enforcement to other agencies, such as the Department of Justice, would weaken protections for vulnerable students. They point to potential conflicts of interest and a lack of specialized expertise in education law as major obstacles. The absence of a dedicated agency focused solely on civil rights in education could embolden discriminatory practices and erode decades of progress. The potential dismantling of the Department of Education has ignited a firestorm of controversy and debate. Teacher unions, staunch advocates for public education, have emerged as some of the most vocal opponents of this move. They argue that stripping away federal funding and oversight would be disastrous for students, particularly those from disadvantaged backgrounds. The battle over the Department of Education's fate is far from over. Public opinion polls reveal widespread opposition to its dismantling, with the majority of Americans recognizing the crucial role it plays in supporting students and upholding educational standards. Teacher unions, parents, and civil rights organizations have mobilized in force, staging protests and launching campaigns to pressure lawmakers to reject the president's agenda. Despite the mounting pressure, Trump remains resolute in his pursuit. The coming months will be critical in determining the fate of American education. Will Congress bow to the president's demands and dismantle a department entrusted with educating the nation's youth? Or will public outcry and bipartisan opposition prevail, preserving the status quo? The stakes are incredibly high. The outcome of this battle will have profound and lasting implications for generations to come. As the nation grapples with this pivotal moment, one thing is certain: the future of American education hangs precariously in the balance. The potential dismantling of the Department of Education represents a fundamental shift in the relationship between the federal government and education. While proponents argue that it will unleash innovation and empower states, critics fear it will exacerbate inequalities, undermine civil rights, and jeopardize the future of American education. The coming months will reveal whether this bold experiment in devolution will fulfill its promises or unleash a cascade of unintended consequences.